All right, y'all. So, welcome to another episode of the Tu Novio podcast. It's your host, Carmen, and we're actually inside of my crib, okay? With the nice green wall in the background, and I have a very special guest on the pink couch today, okay? We have
Pink.
Sebastian Francis with
I'm gonna throw
us.
some applauses and shit in there.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I want the horn, I want the applause,
For sure.
I want everything.
You want the full production.
Yeah.
No doubt. I'm with that. Thank you for having me. I'm glad we actually got to, follow through with it and get it done. So I appreciate it.
No, yeah, shout out to Soul Productions because
God.
they're producing this right now.
Low key, whole TV production studio in my bag.
Have you produced a podcast episode before?
Yeah. I can't remember.
Okay, well, this will be the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I've done like a pilot. I was trying to do like a independent TV show pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that, like filmed it. One of my guys helped me with audio and whatnot. But yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, well, we have Sebastian here with us, and this is the episode that is titled Behind the Lens.
Okay.
I've seen you behind the lens. That's my first like encounter with you, right? Like you were shooting.
Yeah.
But I want to put you in front because, oftentimes people that are creative, they're in the background, especially you're a producer, multi-hyphenate, creative. Like you have so many roles. So I think it's okay to give you your flowers and be like, hey, let's put you out here.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to be like a cloud chaser, but when I was working with Payne, like I would get introduced as the camera guy.
Yeah.
And that shit used to grind my gears. Cause it'd be like, I only started doing camera work in the pandemic because, I was like, okay, well, how can I like maneuver around this fucking COVID situation going on? And so I started doing, before the like hanging mic thing started popping off, I was doing like one-on-ones with artists like this outside. And then I'll give them my beat and then they will spit a 16 over it and I'll make content for them. You know what I mean? So that turned into me shooting at the studio I was working at as an engineer. In the session, sometimes you have downtime. So I'd be like, hey, let me shoot some pictures for you or make a little video for you or whatever.
So you've just been kind of like a jack of all trades. And for those of the people that don't know, you're originally from New York. So I'm not surprised that, you know how to grind.
Not only am I from New York, I'm also Jamaican by blood.
Ooh.
So, Jamaicans have like 4 jobs. And
that's what I heard. I heard y'all are hustlers.
Yeah, exactly. So currently, yes.
Yes. So talk to me a little bit about you growing up in New York because, I can tell that music has inspired you. Yeah. New York is full of like heavy hitters from all types of genres, not just hip hop, but just like underground culture, rap, everything. Yeah. So like you being a kid in New York, did you think that you'd be out here in LA just pursuing your passions? Like as a kid, everyone's like playing in the streets, like running around, having a childhood. Like, what was your childhood like?
Damn. Now I feel like this is therapy.
It's a safe space.
Basically, when I went, because I was in Maryland with my mom, she got sick and eventually ended up passing away. So I had to move back to New York, like 6th grade. And 6th grade to 12th grade, I was just out there living, I had hoop dreams just like every other kid. And I never really thought about pursuing music. My mom always wanted me to play piano. And my father, when I started living with him, I learned that he was a musician. And I never knew this until I got older, but the house I was living in, it was a brownstone. And on the 3rd floor was this is going to sound complicated. My father's girlfriend's children, they were grown, but one of them was a DJ. Oh, wow. And so he would always be playing music. He would bring records down. We would get like bootleg copies of shit when bootlegging was a thing. You know what I mean? And when I was an adult and I went back to the place, I was like, oh shit, he had an MPC. He had a fucking MIDI keyboard. He had a
Now,
whole
now you know
studio.
the names of these things, right? Like now
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And I was like, he had all these things around me, and I wasn't aware that
Mm-hmm.
it was around me, but it made sense to like why I gravitated towards those things.
As a kid, I feel like, especially, you know, if it was in your household area, you were probably just vibing, having fun.
Yeah, yeah. And I never thought to like play with the shit, but my father would always play records,
Mm-hmm.
and he made. I think the reason why I make music is because he made a song for my mother. When,
So he's a romantic.
yeah, that guy. So he made a song for her, and he made it for her when I was while she was pregnant. I was about to say while I was pregnant, while she was pregnant,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I guess it just got instilled in me somehow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I think it's really cool to see just the background of like the people that are out in music doing their thing, because music has always been a part of their childhood. I feel like it wasn't just a thing that you just woke up, you're like, oh fuck it, I'm gonna try it and do something in music.
Yeah,
Like there was something that kind of like, it was like a domino effect in your life,
yeah, that's
you
facts.
know.
That's
I
facts.
do want to ask you, in your group of like friends in New York, were you that kid that people are like, oh man, he's always doing something, like he's always like cracking jokes, or like having these dreams that maybe your friends don't understand, or were your friends kind of with it like the same as you?
So, growing up in New York, you know, you on a block, and everybody's like friends because we all on the same block. We outside every day. Um, I never really. I just knew I wanted to be like rich and famous and all that, and I never
Me
really.
too. Like me too.
I never knew how, but I just knew I like hanging out with the homies, and the things that we would do was like we would play video games, we would hoop,
Mm-hmm.
and you know just be doing things. I was like when we got into high school, I was hardly around because I started playing basketball like for JV and shit, and you know just I wasn't around, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
I was disciplined, and that's where like I started to develop like a work ethic. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And from there, it was like you just start growing closer with people that are on the same path as you.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be around the guys as much, but I'd be around one of the homies named Danny,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, he came to the high school I was going to, so we would do things like we would hoop together and just keep that bond, and we eventually got into music like at separate
Wow.
times, you know.
I think you
So
pointed something really important about, even as a young man, like the fact that you hung out with people who are like still doing some similar things as you.
yeah,
I feel like when you grow up, it's really hard to stay inspired sometimes because you have so much temptation.
yeah.
So talk to me about you going to school in Chicago, because how did you build these things? You know what I mean? Like, because you really could have been persuaded into doing something else. There's the
Yeah,
streets, there's gang violence, there's a bunch of other stuff.
yeah.
Like, did you see that, or were you even influenced by any of that, or were you just like mind on the prize, very like prioritized? Like, what happened? Like, you were so like,
So when I went to Chicago, I was like 18, and
oh, you were a baby.
yeah, yeah, I was a baby, and I went out there by myself. So it was just like I'm just out in the world, and you know, you get exposed to a lot of things, and you know, I kind of got caught up in doing little street shit, like nothing too crazy, but it's like some little weed and shit like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But I knew that I had nothing else to depend on. So I never really was like fucking around. Like when I got to college and I started to like see opportunity, I started to be like, yo, like I want to do everything. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I was working well not working, but I was like hanging around one of these boutiques named Juggernaut. And that's
Is
where
it
I
like a
met,
clothing store?
yeah, clothing
Okay.
store. And I don't know, it was like the second day I was in Chicago, I went there. It was like around the corner from my apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And I went there and they was doing like a rap cipher, and
Wow.
I met two of the guys I met there, Chuck and my homie Dave Koresh.
Mm-hmm.
Still friends to this day, you know.
Was
But
it like right place, right time? Because you said you
for
just got to
sure,
Chicago.
for sure,
I'm guessing you don't have any family in Chicago.
nobody.
So you were just walking down the block, like just exploring your neighborhood.
Just talking to people like, hey man, what's going on? Like, hey,
What?
like that's how I met everybody out there. Like, but there was a group I was a part of called Them People.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I met them. They was just outside of the
Wow.
it's called the UC University Center.
Mm-hmm.
And that was like where everybody would hang out. You know what I'm saying? So I seen these guys like, hey, you know where the weed at? And
Yeah.
that's how a lot
But they
of
also were cool.
yeah.
They were like, okay.
And then they was like, yeah, we do music, and things just like kind of snowball from there. I think the important thing was that I had the intention and the desire was strong enough to like force me to make the right choices with my willpower. You know what I'm saying? Because even though I got caught up in like selling a little weed and stuff, it was like I could have kept doing it, but
Right.
I was like, you know what, this is not advancing me towards where I actually want to be. You know what I mean? So.
No, yeah, your work ethic is crazy. I feel like not a lot of 18-year-olds like have that discipline.
Yeah.
So props to you. But you just said like you met these two very influential people in Chicago.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your experience there in school. I know you're navigating Chicago life by yourself.
Yeah.
How did music become like something for you in Chicago?
You're great at this. I just want to say that. Yeah, this is great. So when I went out there, it was like I wanted to do music. I wasn't that good at the time, and just being a cool person and just being green, to be honest. I was just super green, like starry eyed. Like, oh my God, man, I just want to hang out. Like, you know what I mean? And just having like that kind of like charismatic energy just got me in the right relationships with the right people, So like with the homie Dave, like I said, I wasn't that good. But it was like I was just talking to him like, yeah, bro, I make beats. Like, I love to send you some and woo woo. Man, he took a chance with me and ended up using it. And, just wanting to, I always knew early on in life, like, you got to be of service to the world. Like,
be of service to the world.
I grew up in church, so like they would always use the analogy like washing feet. Like, I'll never wash a nigga feet, but you know what I'm saying. But
no feet content here. We have socks on. You're not getting that for free.
right.
Yeah.
But I knew like you gotta offer some type of value to people, and I know it sounds cliche, but like, yeah, music's all I had to give, but nah, it's spiritual for me, even like down to my mother wanted me to play piano. So it's like, I feel like this was a gift I just had to nurture and, take care of. And you just follow your gut and the path kind of opened itself up for you.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. No,
Damn,
I love that.
I sound like I'm smart as hell.
That's the crazy part though. Like your life is a rule book in a way, like just you looking back. Because sometimes I feel like we don't take the time to reflect, especially if like for you, a lot of stuff is just happening,
Yeah.
For the people that don't know, he just graduated from school. We'll get to that too, because that's a very important thing. But
I forgot. Real
I know.
talk.
No, a lot of people are graduating, so I'm really proud for the class of 2024.
Yeah.
Keep doing that.
Congrats.
Go to school.
Clap.
But yeah, so Chicago, you were out there doing your thing. You graduated.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
So yeah, I know I didn't answer your question all the way correctly.
Yeah, no, keep me posted.
So I went there for a year to Columbia, and it's a whole bunch of in between about like people I met that, like Cosign.
I saw.
I used to intern for that nigga in Chicago.
Wow.
In 2009.
Wow.
And when I told him that, he was like, whoa. Like, he had to remember.
But you know what's crazy? a lot of great people have been in rooms with other great people. And it just so happened that maybe you didn't have the accolades or the title.
Yeah.
You're in the midst of a bunch of other people, but it's like, you never know who you work with.
Yeah, that's facts.
You really never know.
That's facts.
Like, hello.
You know what I'm saying? So I went there for a year. Like once I was 19, I was like, oh shit, $40,000 a year is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So let me drop out. Things was kind of wild. I was trying to like pay rent, and at 19 you can only work but so many jobs that'll pay you an adequate wage to survive.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't afford it. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna stop going to school. I was out there thinking that selling weed would pay my bills. And it was like I failed miserably.
It wasn't your calling. That's okay.
Yeah, I went back to it later on, but then that's when shit got crazy. But Yeah, so leaving school, I left after a year and a half, and then from there I went to Florida for like 9 months, and working in a fucking desk job at a law firm, like
Yeah.
random as hell. And I was in a cubicle, and I would just like print out pictures of yachts and shit, and
Yeah.
like people performing, and like paste it on the wall and shit like that in the cubicle. And then after that 9 months, I was like, yo, I'm finna quit, and I ended up moving back to Chicago. Yeah,
Wow.
just off the whim.
In some sense, you were kind of like manifesting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
You were like, this isn't for me.
yeah,
And that's something I was gonna ask you. I'm like, have you had like a traditional 9 to 5 and then just been like, this really isn't for me?
yeah.
Like
That
I'm meant to be in a desk or behind a desk.
yeah, that job showed me that I couldn't do that shit because it was draining the life out of me. I was just like copying papers and fucking shredding. It was just trash.
Yeah.
And from there, I was like, I went to Chicago, started doing security. That was cool. I was doing security overnight, selling a little weed at the job, just trying to make extra little
Yeah.
funds and whatnot. And
When did the entrepreneurial spirit like get to you? Because I know we all have done things for money.
yeah,
Nothing crazy, but like, you know what I mean? Like we
'cause I was
all
like,
right, no, we all work different jobs, different things, just to like survive. Survival is so
yeah,
important. And I know Chicago's a tough city too.
hell
So
yeah.
you're working on these different things. How did you start like freelancing?
Well, to answer the first part of the question, the entrepreneurial spirit came in grade school because we would go to Costco on like Sundays, me and my father and his girl, and we would just get like hella snacks, like the big boxes
Oh,
of
you were
snacks.
selling the candy bars. And the
We had, the little famous Amos box of cookies.
Yeah.
I would take that out, go to class, sell it like a quarter, 50 cents, buy my little lunch and shit. You know what I'm saying? So, and then I don't want to get all fucking deep and shit, but
No, this is the time. You're in the pink couch.
the pink couch, I'm
Yeah.
comfortable. As I started getting older, I had to start like buying food and shit for myself, like very young, kind of like 13, 14. Cause it was like, oh yeah, we're not gonna cook for you, so you need to figure it out. And it was like, I started eating Chinese food every day and shit, and you know what I mean. So shit was wild. When I started thinking about it, it was kind of wild. Yeah, but that's kind of when that shit started. As far as freelancing though, I would say probably I really got into freelance in Atlanta because that was when it was like I went to SAE,
Yeah.
started engineering,
I guess
booking
talk
sessions.
to us about like how you got to Atlanta a little bit.
Oh
Because
God,
if the people that don't know, like he's lived all over the place, like
every major city
every major
except like Oklahoma and shit.
and big cities with music. Like
Yeah.
music is like a culture, breathing, living, everything. Atlanta's crazy too.
Yeah, that's when I started to do the freelance shit for real. But I went out there.
Were you in love?
Here's where we get to the spicy stuff.
Tell me.
So I met this girl here in LA. She was from Virginia, and she was from 30 minutes away from where I was staying with my brother in Virginia. So it was like, that's so random. You know what I mean? And I guess a little confirmation bias kicked in and shit. I was like, oh, maybe she's the one and all that. But, we met, started dating. She was like, yeah, I'm thinking about moving to Atlanta. It's opportunity out there. And the type of person I am, clearly.
Are you a lover boy? I feel like you got a lover boy spirit.
I ain't supposed
in
to say that.
Yeah.
I ain't supposed to say that. I mean, kind of. But it just got to be with the right person. I don't just be giving out my love to everyone.
Right.
But, yeah, she was like, she was going to move out there. And I was like, all right, fuck it, let's go.
Yeah.
And we drove out there.
Oh, wow.
The shit took like 3. She said, oh, wow.
Did you guys move in together? I need to know the story.
So, all right. So here, one thing about me, I'm very real with myself. Here's where like a little fuck nigga kicked in. So I drove with her all the way there, stayed the Wi-Fi password, that's fire.
Oh yeah, manifest 444.
So I went up to see my grandmother in Maryland after I dropped off. I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go back to Chicago. I'm not gonna move down here because I didn't have like no job set up. I didn't have nothing set up for myself. Like she had her brother and shit, you know. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Chicago. Whatever. We could still work it out, like long distance. I'll come down there.
Long distance doesn't work, y'all.
I don't think it does either. I mean, yeah, but I stayed there for like a month. Some shit went down with the homies I was staying with there, and you know, she was like, "Well, just come here and just whatever." Well, she didn't say come here. My homie Danny that I grew up with in New York was living down there, and he was like, "Bro, just come kick it."
Right.
30 days, I got up out of there.
Wow.
Yeah, I got a job, got up out of there. I was like, okay, maybe I was supposed to be here with her. All that simp ass shit. Nah, but yeah, so love brought me out there. Yeah. And then, you know.
So you know, you said love brought you out to the ATL,
yeah.
which I believe love, music, it's all intertwined.
Yeah, yeah.
But once you're in ATL, like, what was it like? How are you tapping into the music industry? And what are some mentors that maybe you met there?
Wow, you asked all the right questions.
Thank you.
Jesus, Carmen is great at this, y'all. I knew I wanted to go back to school because when I left here, I would tell her, I'm like, yo, I can't. I was waiting tables for like 7 years and shit, like bartending and whatnot. I was like, I don't want to keep doing this. Like, I want to actually be in the music industry. So I was like, all right, I'm going to go to Atlanta and go to school. So I went to SAE. They accepted me. And I was like, I would ride on the trains at night, leaving work and shit, and see the little ads. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be on that damn ad one day. And I just went out there with the mentality like, I'm here to be the best. I'm here. I'm going to be the top of the class. I'm going to get straight A's. I'm going to know everything about it. And a guy saw that, and his name was Kevin Wilson, and he was one of the instructors at SAE, and he kind of, you know, just took me under his wing, kind of informally. I didn't have to be like, hey, man, can you mentor me? Yeah. It was more like he saw my work ethic, and he got hired at a label, and then he called me like, yo, your resume came across my desk. Like,
wow.
Yeah. So
full circle moment.
Yeah. All that shit out there was super divine, like at every moment, for sure.
I think it's so important to have a mentor. And I know you said that, you know, he didn't go up and was like, hey, can you mentor me?
Yeah.
I think the best mentorship relationships happen organically.
For sure.
And for someone to want to like support you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially for it to be like cohesive. Cause I feel like sometimes, like you said, like there's like fake stuff going on, or people just be like, you know what, they're doing really cool stuff. I need them as my mentor. Yeah. But sometimes the relationship's not working. Yeah. You know what I mean? So how did this relationship like support you? Like, did you end up getting the job?
Yeah. So, it was I mean, do we got time for a quick little story?
Yeah.
So at the time, it's always some tumultuous shit going on in my life for some reason.
What's your sign?
Sagittarius.
Fire
sign.
Okay. This makes sense.
Yeah, I guess it does when you think about it. So I was working at this job. I ain't gonna call them out, but long story short, it was a Tex-Mex restaurant, right? And we would get employee meals like before our shift.
Yeah.
So one day they made fried chicken with grape soda and like watermelon, right? So I was like, what? I don't fuck with this. I'm not eating that shit. And I heard the chef be like, all we're missing is grape soda. And I was like, bro, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, y'all just gonna sit here and let him joke like this? And people was like, all right, brother Malcolm, like niggas is saying that to me. I'm like, y'all is. Anyway, so that happened, and next thing I know, I'm starting to get less hours. I'm starting to like get one shift a week, and it's like, damn, like I gotta pay rent. Like, how am I gonna pay rent? So I'm applying to all types of jobs, applying to internships, and I had an internship too at that time, and it just wasn't paying enough for me. So in this process, I applied to some shit called Doppler Studios, and that's when he called me like, I just seen your resume, like, want you to come in for an interview. And 6 months from that, they made me like studio manager, and yeah, it was just like I was there for like 3 years, just working with all types of artists, like niggas who on, niggas who ain't on, and he helped me out a lot. Like just putting me in position to do that, like allowed me to like get my camera shit going, and that shit helped me out because my first big gig was like at a TDE session, and
What?
yeah, it
Oh
wasn't.
wow! I saw a really dope set. I think they did in LA.
Who TDE?
TDE.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
fired. It was.
Yeah, a boiler room set.
Oh yeah, somebody was just
Yeah.
talking to me about that
Yeah,
earlier.
it's so good.
That's crazy. Tomorrow, by the way, there's an event at the Hundreds from 7 to 10.
At the shop?
Yeah,
Oh wow.
it's a book event. They're doing like it's free open
Oh,
bar.
send it.
Yeah. But anyway, what were we talking about? I smoke
You
a
were
lot.
working with TDE.
Yeah, so my mentor Kev, he put me in position. I was able to like network, meet people. Like one thing I learned there is like you gotta speak up. Like there was one time there was a session going on. It was like, oh, we ain't got no engineer, and in my stomach it was burning. It was like, nigga, say something, and I was like,
Because you were going to school.
well, at this time I was done.
Oh, you
And I
were
was
done.
like,
Okay.
yeah, I finally graduated.
Yes.
Something. You know,
Go to school, everybody.
go to school and graduate.
Yes.
I'm all about education,
Yeah.
for real. But just learning to speak up and say what you want, and not only that, but being ready and putting in the work, and showing up when it's your time to show up. So, yeah.
That's so important about the speaking up part, because so many people, it's like, okay, you got the degree or you have like the skill set, the life lessons in the background of all the stuff that you're doing. But if you're not speaking up, you're not going to utilize those skills.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to be put to the test.
You gotta have that confidence in yourself and your abilities, because if not, the people are just gonna overlook you.
Yeah.
And you're just gonna be like, oh well, I could have, would have,
Right.
But
So you have the studio experience, you work with others. When did you decide, like, you know what, I want to make some music, I want to start my own production company? Like, how did all of that start?
that started. I had left Chicago. Jesus Christ, I'm all over the place. I left Chicago like 2010 or 2011, and I was sitting down in Virginia for like 3-4 months, and I was just like, yeah, I want to. Before I had left Chicago, I was like, I want to start a business. I was like, I have to. Like, I was going to the SBA office in Chicago, like trying to learn up about LLCs and stuff like that. And the homies would like be like, man, you thinking you putting the cart before the horse type situation.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, bro, like this is how I want to do it. So when I sat down in Virginia for some time, I just started thinking of things, and the so like was what came up. It was like I want to use that name, and I had a little acronym for it. So it was like it worked. And what else did you ask? I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. Just wondering how so like came to be.
Yeah.
Because you're definitely going really hard with that.
Yeah.
It's tied in through like the Twitch streams and everything, which we're gonna get to that. But I do want to talk to you about like being in the mix, because you are someone that has worked with people like T-Pain, Snoop Dogg, been around rooms like with Cosign, Will.i.am. Being in the
That's
mix, not only out here in LA, but in the different places that you've lived in, Chicago, Atlanta. I'm pretty sure you've been around so many heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Like, how do you still stand out in a room full of like really dope people, but without coming off like I'm too big? You know what I mean?
just being myself, man. Like I was always so with the pain situation.
Mm-hmm.
I would always be afraid to show my full self
Mm.
because it was a job. Like I didn't
Right.
want to be like, oh yeah, bro, I do music. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It was like it kind of happened organically because one day we was on tour. One of his artists was like, yo, I got the studio book. Like pull up.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, all right, cool. So I pulled up thinking he wanted me to shoot some videos. He was like,
Right.
nah, I want you to get on a song. Like,
Oh, what?
so yeah, I was like, all right, bet. And it was like the pressure's on. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And wrote a verse, was able to finish the verse and lay it down in that session. So it was like, oh, bro, nice. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So he played it for Pain that night. I fucking get on the bus, they playing the song. I'm like,
Wow.
you know what I'm
You didn't even
saying?
know that was gonna happen.
I didn't. And it was like, I didn't have to go be like, yeah, T-Pain, listen to my,
Right.
you know what I mean? So just being myself, just being cool. Like, I never been like a clout chaser as far as like, yeah, bro, you see me in the pictures with all these people and doing this. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't really care about none of that because what I'm in it for is like building a better life for myself and like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like helping other people and like creating jobs and shit like that.
Yeah.
So,
This like explains a lot too with the name of your business.
yeah.
Because like I feel like everything that people do when they generally have a passion is really from the soul,
Yeah.
from the heart. And I think one thing too, like for people in creative businesses, whether you're in the music industry or any other industry, like having the patience, I feel like that goes a long way too. And that's such a good thing for your character. You know, being around, like, for example, like being in a room with Will, it's like, whoa, what the hell? It's crazy.
Yeah. It's
Especially
like,
for me, I'm like, this is like a big deal. In my mind, I'm like, oh my God. But
well,
just
shout
being,
out to you.
yeah, like being patient about like, you know, one day we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
Whatever
Yeah.
there looks like for you, for me, you know, for everyone. But talk to me about that. Like, like how's patience about like, you know, we get so like, oh, I want things to pop off now, but
Yeah.
it's a journey.
Yeah. And just knowing that, like, it's a journey. I mean, I with my mentality is like, okay, I'm this far in, it's no turning back now. That would be stupid.
Right.
You know, it's a few times where I've regretted making certain decisions, like leaving certain cities at certain times. But it's like Erykah Badu got this song, Didn't You Know, where she's like, you know, sometimes I stumble off the path, but my heart will bring me back. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of just get drawn back to where you're supposed to
Yeah.
throughout all the nonsense, you know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So like what brought you out to LA?
The first time I just had time. I had freedom and time. I quit my job. I had some money saved up. My apartment was paid off like a few months in advance. So I was like, yo, I can do whatever I want to do right now. And one of the homies, I told him, and he was like, bro, just move out here and like
Yeah.
I'll help you out. You know what I'm saying? Because he was working with a label at the time. And I'm sorry. And he was like, yeah, just come out here, get on your grind and get
Do you want to do a
it.
water break?
Sure, sure. Nigga here choking this shit. Ain't nothing like a good cup of water.
We're
Jesus. Right. No, but where were we?
So you had a friend that was like, come out to LA.
Yeah.
I got
so, you know, I just want a sidebar right now. Me and that nigga is no longer friends. And that just happened recently, like February.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's been my guy since like 2010.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like I know I was there at the birth of his kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? But we had a falling out and, you know, it is what it is. But yeah, that's what brought me out here the first time. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're still here.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know for how long, man. That's the thing. Like you asked me earlier before we started, like about Tribe and where's home,
Yeah.
I'm still looking, fam. Like I don't
So.
even know. Like my father's in Florida.
Mhm.
I got brothers in Virginia, New York, and
Yeah.
I just still like Atlanta would have been home for me,
Mhm.
but you know that breakup and shit. That shit was. It was like I don't even want to be here no more.
Yeah. No, it's tough.
Yeah,
Starting over, just in general,
man.
it's hard. And you've been in LA for a minute too, because I think you came out here like 2015,
Yeah,
2016.
15 and
Yeah.
stayed for like a couple years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's so important to, like, for people watching, like, as a creative, um, building a tribe is hard sometimes, because you want to surround yourself with good people, but sometimes there's that inner competition, or there really is no competition, or it's just some weird shit going on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get it. It is
Yeah.
hard. Sometimes you're like, what the hell? I think I only have like 3 friends out here.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I commend you, one, for being in LA for this long. Like, it's out here.
Yeah, it's wild out here. You gotta like even right now, like I don't want to get into too much detail, but I kind of skim over it.
Mm-hmm.
But like I'm living a wild life right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Like, cause I was staying with bro, so I was like, I'm just finna leave, bro, and I'm just like day to day with it.
Yeah. No, you're gonna be good. I feel
Yeah,
like
for sure, for sure, for sure.
whenever, weird stuff, or not even weird, just like life hits you, there's always a come up.
Yeah,
There's always
it's gotta
a
be.
come up, for real.
It's
For real.
gotta be. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so talk to me about So, because this man right here, like, is crazy. Like,
I am crazy.
okay, like,
That's rule number one. You
yeah.
gotta be crazy as fuck.
I feel like you're so transparent. Like, I was like doing my research, like Twitch. You're very personable, funny. You're making like beats on the spot. I feel like you're definitely someone that's not gatekeeping anything either. You're just like, oh, these are the tools I'm using. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah, cause niggas ain't gonna put the work in.
Right.
But yeah,
What got you to like want to put that your persona on social media? Were you doing that before, or it wasn't until you got to LA that you started putting yourself on like
I
Twitch,
think
Instagram, TikTok, all of that?
I always have been like wanting to be in front of the camera. Like I thought about being like a TV show host at one point
Really?
in my life. Yeah.
Oh, I could see that.
I
could totally see that.
But I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest. Like seeing Payne stream, because I would be there.
T-Pain be on Twitch.
Yeah, that's his shit.
He's so entertaining.
Yeah, that
It's
nigga's
crazy.
funny as hell.
Yeah.
But seeing him do the streaming and shit, and when I stopped working with him, I was like, I could do that shit because I make music easily, and I could fucking be in front of the camera and whatnot. So I just started streaming really after I stopped working with him, and was just like, I'm gonna keep doing it because I was having fun, like some like especially when like niggas in the chat talking shit or whatever. It's like I feed off that. I get juice off that. So.
Oh no, I love that. I do have to ask you because So Production, you put out a couple movies out too.
Yeah.
How did that come about? Like, is that something that you've always been a part of, like as a filmmaker, or this was just kind of like, let me try it out?
Yeah, that's how all this shit happens. Like, I was it's pandemic time. We had the camera. I was like, yo, I want to do like a music video, and that was the whole reason why I bought it. I wanted to shoot my own music videos and vlog and shit. But I was like, you know what? Let me try to do a film. I never tried no short films before. So I had to sit down. I had COVID like right around my birthday and shit.
You caught COVID?
I had COVID
oh,
like
no.
twice.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I had to sit down, and it was this YouTube channel, this guy named Valandez, and I was just watching this shit, like binge watching all this content. And then I found this website called Studio Binder.
I don't know about that.
Studio Binder is basically like a platform, like a learning platform. And they tell you everything about film, script writing. They even got like a interface where it'll format scripts for you. So like it'll teach you how to type it. It'll show you how to storyboard.
Like AI?
No, not AI. It's templated out.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's more like a just plug information in and it gets it right for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing that. I went on there, typed a little script up. One thing about me, I'm a nerd for real.
I was about to say
I'm
you
a-
love school. You love school. We're gonna get to the next degree he has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I like learning stuff, and I just when I'm learning something I'm passionate about, like I'll watch something for 8 hours and just be writing in my notebook, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I had a song with my mentor. It was like finally I get to work with him. He worked like fucking Kanye, Lil Wayne, all these people, and he made me a beat, and I was like, all right, I want to do a music video for this, but no, let me make it a short film. So once I did all the research, got things in order, I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna just start
Yeah.
off with shooting B-roll, and then I met some friends and they helped me out with it and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and it became a thing. Like
Wow.
because people liked it so much, I was like, all right, I gotta keep doing this because
Yeah.
they fucking with this more than my music. So it was like, yeah,
You know what's crazy? I know you said that, but sometimes I think the creative journey takes you in one way, and then maybe people know you from whatever avenue, and then boom. I
yeah,
also make music, you know?
yeah, yeah.
So it'd be like that sometimes.
Like Rotimi, for example, like
Mm-hmm.
he got popping on Power, and it was like, oh yeah, by the way, he makes dope music too. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
You really never know.
Yeah.
So
You just gotta be in the vein. Like
yeah.
yeah.
No, facts. So I know you mentioned, or he mentioned that he loves school. You recently actually, well, one, you got a scholarship for a very prestigious school out here in LA, 1500 Sound. Like,
Damn.
that's crazy. Like, how, one, was applying to the scholarship always like, fuck it, I'm going to apply? Or does someone kind of encourage you? Because, not going to lie, for people of color, like, there is money for us to go to school.
Yeah, facts.
What's
Facts.
crazy is that we don't apply.
Yeah.
We don't apply, and there's so
Grants,
much
all
money.
types of shit.
You know, so like, did someone introduce you to the college? Were you always interested? How did you submit the application?
Yo, I don't know. I think God be playing jokes on me or something, but it'd be like I was just on Instagram.
It got sponsored or like like a
Yeah,
sponsored post?
I don't even think it was sponsored. I think I just opened Instagram at the right time because I follow Rance and James and these guys because I've been a fan of like what they do for a minute.
Yeah.
So I opened Instagram. Mind you, this is the time me and my girl broke up. So and we still living together. We broken up, still living together and shit. She
When
said,
one
"Ooh."
door closes, another one
Exactly.
opens. The blessing.
So I'm scrolling on Instagram because I'm like, yo, what the fuck am I about to do with my life? Like, this is my part. We was together 7 years. Like, this shit is
Yeah.
a whirlwind. I open Instagram, Justin Timberlake on Rance's page. They're like, yeah, they got a scholarship. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to try to go back to LA. All right, we'll worry.
Shout out to Rania.
Yeah, shout out to O'Neal for sure, for sure.
So you were talking to him. You were like, "What is this?"
Yeah, so I was just like, yo, what is this app? Like, tell me all about it. He showed me like the Jaden Smith project, the ASAP Rocky project. And he was like, yeah, bro, we got onboardings on Fridays. So if you want to come through and learn more, just come by tomorrow. And I was like, I will be there. And he was like, you sure? You gonna come? I was like, bro, trust me, bro. I'm hungry. And I'm gonna be there. So from going to onboarding, first of all, when I went to onboarding, Julie was like, this is the first time this has ever happened. Will stopped us and was talking to us for like an hour.
Oh, your onboarding had Will?
Yeah.
Wow.
He was
what a
just walking
treat.
through the hall.
What a treat. Even seeing him, I'm just like, he's in the building.
Yeah. So he
That's
was just
wild.
walking through the halls, saw us, and then just started talking to us. And then the conversation lasted like an hour. And Julie was like, this has never happened. You guys got the special onboarding. So that happened. And then I went to the Culture Fires the following week. And I forgot who it was, but somebody was talking. And what they were saying was moving me so much. I was like, this needs to be recorded. Like, people need to hear this. You know what I'm saying? And I went up to him like, y'all don't have nobody like videotaping this? And Julie was like,
Advocating for yourself.
yeah.
Literally advocate for. Speak on it.
Yeah, but I wasn't even like on no like, this is my master plan. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It was like, I just wanted to like help out. I was like, look, I'll intern and do it for free. And it was like, nah,
Wow.
we'll see what's up and then get back to you. Offered me the internship, and then the rest is history. And now I'm doing, how you say it correctly?
¿Y tu novio?
Tu Novio.
Yeah, y tu novio.
Come on, man. I'll be trying to get my linguistics right.
Oh,
like,
hell yeah.
my Spanish right. Yeah, but yeah.
Wow. So that's how we got connected, and that's how you got connected to FYI.
Yeah.
That's insane.
What about you? You told me you met them at an event, right?
I did.
Yeah. It was one of them DJ events.
Yes. Scam Summit.
Scam.
Yeah, I met them at Scam. I was supporting my homegirl Mika because we had gone to a DJ event for her music club. And then after that, I saw in the lineup, like the next day was an FYI event.
Okay.
All I saw was like app, and then I saw Will I Am's name, and I was like, you know what? I think we should go.
Yeah.
So let's go. I'm like, it's literally in the area because all the events were happening in Hollywood. So I'm like, oh, this is perfect. It's all central.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we got onboarded.
Fire.
And the culture fires. And since then, I'm like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
I agree on like documenting it because it literally feels like a hidden secret. Like I'd be like, oh my God, like I need to share this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and that's like being a part of the early adopter community. Like, you know what's going on. A lot of people just seeing the Breakfast Club interview. It's like,
That's the crazy
we've
part.
been knowing about this for a
Right,
minute. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But it's dope, man. It's cool to be a part of something so progressive and something that's meant to help people like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. Spread the word.
For real.
FYI.
FYI.
For sure.
Okay, so we have to talk about London. We have to talk about
Jesus.
London. Okay?
Yo. Everything about London is crazy. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. I want to watch this clip back.
Okay.
And then I'm going to be like, Sebastian, how's London? How's the weather over there? How are you?
I'm like, yeah, bro. It's fucking great. And then.
Oh, his accent changed too. You're going to come back.
Like, yeah, it's peaches. Yeah.
Bruv. Or, is that what they say?
Bruv. They say whatever. So, I probably shouldn't even talk about this, but I'm going to anyway.
Ooh,
I was
exclusive. We need a light here or something. I don't know.
I was on Hinge.
Wait, what?
Right. I'm sorry. It went so left field. I'm
going to take a water break. I'm all like, oh, he's going to talk about, I don't know what I was expecting.
Had to throw a curveball in the chat. I don't know. It's
Shout
weird.
out to Hinge.
Right. Shout out to Hinge. So I don't know. I kind of started talking to this girl. Like, of course, we're pen pals because she's in London or whatever.
Right.
But
You put your radius all the way to London?
no, she put her radius to Los Angeles.
Oh, wow.
I'm trying to come up and get a BBL or something.
Wait, what?
No, I was nah, but long story short about that situation is like, it's weird because she's over there and more present than people over here, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like hit me up like, hey, how
Yeah.
are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
you taking your vitamins, you drinking water, like shit like that. Like,
Oh, wow.
actually caring about a nigga. And it's
Yeah.
weird because it's like, why?
Right.
What's your angle?
Right.
But like we were saying earlier, sometimes people are just good people,
Yeah,
So,
it is true.
But yeah, about what you were saying, London.
Yes.
Right. Tweaking. I'm tweaking.
Your first time going there, and not the last.
Hell no.
Why do you love that city so much?
First of all, it reminded me of New York to the T. It was a European New York.
Oh, wow.
And it felt like home. It felt like Brooklyn. It felt like
There's a heavy Jamaican community out there too.
That also helped. You know what I'm saying? Like something I thought about when I was over there. I was like, oh, these people out here, like the black people specifically, are different because they come from like Africa and other countries where they value family and they value things other than money like we do over here in America. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they see themselves in you. You know what I'm saying? And it just felt a little more comfortable. You know what I mean? So, and when I did that little open mic, you know, they was screaming and shit. I was like, oh yeah, it's a wrap. I gotta come here. Like, that's never happened before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think that's what separates, you know, people from doing bigger stuff is that you really see yourself as like a global person.
Yeah.
Like you don't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna make it here in America.
Yeah.
You really be like, I'm taking over the whole world.
Yeah, for real. You know, spread your light, you know?
Yes. I love that.
Yeah.
So I do need to ask.
Uh-oh.
Just a little crazy. How has, you know, love, relationships impacted your creative journey? And are you in a era right now where you're like, I'm not looking, but if it happens, I'm open to it? Or you're very like, right now I'm just focusing on me and my dreams and all that?
Yeah, I'm focused right now. You know, I was just told the other day, like, if you can't or don't think you'll be able to make time for me because you're so busy, then we should just stop talking. And I was like, all right, because, you know, life is crazy. I got to do what I got to do. But, you know, I'm definitely impacted by, like, love and relationships. And, you know, a song I released recently was called Side Nigga Anthem. And that was very true.
An anthem?
For all my side niggas.
You were feeling something.
Yeah. It was because it was like, and a lot of my music was influenced by like relationships in the last few years. So like the project I have, Reckless Behavior, that I plan on putting out by summer, was pretty much like about my relationship while I was on the road and like how that shit was affecting our relationship, like with my ex. So yeah, a lot of that shit inspires the content, you know?
Yeah. No, yeah, relationships in general. It doesn't have to be romantic, but friendships. Yeah. Anything like that. That's so important. Yeah. But I also do gotta ask. You know.
Tu Novio.
No. See, you know Spanish. I feel like you know a little bit. Especially if you grew up in New York. I'm like, you were surrounded by all types of Spanish people.
I'm low key like Puerto Rican, like 5% Puerto Rican.
To be honest, if you spoke some Spanish, I would not be surprised. I'll be like, wait, what?
I know a little bit. I took Spanish in high school and shit.
Okay. So for music, what are some goals that you have for yourself for this year? You know, you're out of school. You have so much experience in your belt. Jesus. Like, what are you going to do for 2024?
God, 2024, huh? Of course, I need to finish this Reckless Behavior project. I've been talking about this shit so long.
Is that on an FY?
Yeah. Okay. It is. Yeah, it is. I'm going to send it to you, actually. Yeah, I'll send it to you. But I want to do a short film with it. That's kind of what's taking long, too. But finish that. I want to sign some type of contract, like, and to be very specific, like an administration deal to where it's like all they're doing is administering my records. They're not like owning my records. And getting on a tour, like opening up for somebody. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely like the top 3 for me right now, you know? And continue streaming because eventually that shit's going to become a like self-oiling machine in itself, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because all that content, like I do that shit to live on YouTube and live on Instagram and eventually start monetizing that shit, you know? Oh yeah. So
I commend you too because like it's hard just to be consistent. Yeah. So the fact that you put out a stream all the time every Sunday.
Yeah, I ain't put out one this last.
It's okay.
I was gonna do it today. I swear to God. Might do it later.
No, but you be out there, so that's awesome. So we're coming down to the end of the show.
No.
Okay. I do want to leave it on a really positive note. What would you tell, the young and hungry people out there that are out there just like you doing your thing? Like, what would some advice that you wish you had, or some things that you're like, you know what, look out for this, or keep this at the top of mind when doing things?
There's so many things. First and foremost, like, stay focused. Like, that sounds so cliche, but just, it's hard to stay focused when you gotta pay bills, when you gotta, you can find all the excuses in the world, but it's like you gotta simplify your life and like cut out distractions and just focus on what you gotta do. And just, I hate to sound like it, just like staying positive and staying in a state of gratitude, like, has helped me get up every day and continue on and like stay positive about like, okay, like, yeah, shit might look a little crazy or I'm not there yet, but I'm gonna keep working, and that's it. It's like, and like you mentioned earlier, it's a journey, like, I thought once I had the T-Pain situation, I was like, oh yeah, from here, oh, niggas is on. I'm on shows. I'm doing this. It's like, it didn't turn out that way, But you have to just keep hope alive and keep striving towards what it is you actually want to do. Yeah. And I've been. I know you say we're getting to the end, but lately, I've been having this reoccurring thought of like living your truth, like and not like coming out the closet and shit, but like,
oh yeah, it's okay though. But I know you're not.
yeah, but like living your truth, like, okay, like, this is who I am. Like, I say nigga a lot. I say certain words. Like, I don't do it in public settings or corporate settings, but it's like, I don't want to change parts of me that I'm comfortable with. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like, long as you're comfortable with the way your life is and the trajectory you're on, like, nobody's opinion matters, Yeah. So just living your truth.
No, for real.
Your authentic self,
Yeah. And I know the lesson's hard. Sometimes we learn it maybe a little later than we wanted to.
Yeah.
As long as you know that and you stay consistent with yourself and your truth, I think that's super important.
Yeah.
I'm always like admired or inspired by, like, for example, you, everyone in FYI, like just people that really be out there like, hey, we have an opportunity, you want to take it, stay hungry, stay open, stay ready. So I want to thank you so much for like recording this. Like,
yeah, hell yeah, thank you.
This was honestly like when you had messaged me, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna cry. No, for real. Like, so I just want to thank you. Like, that really touched me, and I'm glad we had to sit down. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
we learn a lot about each other. So
yeah.
Well, I gotta ask you questions next time.
No, right? Yeah. Invite me to one of your Twitch parties.
I guess. Yeah, I will. No, for sure. For sure. Yeah.
So on a positive, how can we stay connected with you? How can people reach out and support your music and all of that?
Sebastian F Music on all social media. SebastianFmusic.com. Like you said, I'm an open book. I be talking shit. I be streaming, and I be saying stuff on stream that I shouldn't be saying. Oh, no. And I be wanting to cut it out, but I'm like, you know what? Forget it. It's me. Fuck it.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah.
I love that.
Sebastian Francis on Apple and all that. Yeah.
He's everywhere, literally, and all of that.
In Jesus' name.
Yes, amen. And I'll be adding all that info in the description of the video too. Okay. But don't forget to tap in with Sebastian, tap in with the podcast.
You know what the fuck going on?
Right. Edited by So Production.
We gonna do it. Thank you for having me, for sure. I really appreciate this.
Thank you. I also learned a lot about you, and I'm excited for 2024.
Hell yeah.
And everything. Let me know if you do go to London again, because I'm going to do like, remember when I sat on this couch?
Yeah, no, for sure. It's going to happen. I know it is.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, and thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for another episode. Bye.
Tu Novio. Bye.